Every year, Great Ormond Street Hospital Charity puts on a series of challenges to help raise money for this important hospital. One of the most grueling of these challenges is that of climbing Mount Kilimanjaro in Africa. This is a diary of the 2013 climb. On our journey to the foot of the mountain on day one, we finally got a good view of Kili and we stood in awe and with nervous anticipation looking up at the peak. Our initial destination is Makame Gate, where we meet our porters for the first time and offload our bags.
You're on candid camera. Everybody feeling good? At the Makame Gate.
It's an incredible feeling when after the safety briefing we take our initial steps to hopefully reaching a destination just short of 6 kilometres up in the air. But we are in the capable hands of the experienced Joe Bradshaw and head guide Chunga.
Yeah. We don't know long.
Where?
If you don't know, we're in trouble.
After celebration, bye-bye.
And so it begins. It seems like an awfully long way. The initial part of our climb takes us through the rainforest, which is stunningly beautiful. And it's called the rainforest for good reason. When it rains here, it rains. We have a welcome break from the rain when we come across the food tent with warm popcorn, coffee and tea.
I've done my mountain Kilimanjaro.
If it is 10 to 4, I'll be impressed. No, it is 10 to 4, so you've got to watch it.
It's absolutely vital to have an expedition doctor with us. He's the one that makes the decision to send us back down the mountain if we have the telltale signs of altitude sickness. Well, end of day one. It was a bit harder than I thought, actually. It was quite steep at times. We had a lot of rain, torrential rain at times. We had thunder and lightning as well occasionally. But we're now at camp. We've been here maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours, and the mountain is showing itself to us over there. And we're going to eat in about half an hour. We're going to be introduced to the crew, and yeah, everyone's really nice. In Camp 1, we familiarise ourselves with our tents and make our way to the introduction ceremony. This is where we are formally introduced to our amazing crew. And they sing and dance a lot. It's quite an emotional experience. When the clouds dissipate, it never fails to get exciting looking at the peak of the mountain. We later find that the crew never really need an excuse to break into song and dance, and it always lifts the spirits, no matter how tired we are. It's quite a difficult thing to explain if you've not witnessed it, but it's quite a moving experience just listening to the singing and watching the dancing. And given the surroundings that we find ourselves in, it's just an incredible experience. And I personally have still not quite wrapped my head around the fact that I'm in Africa on this iconic mountain. The introduction ceremony begins in earnest, conducted by the very charismatic Chunga.
We dancing, we climb, we carry, we smile. This is how we do. When we get to first camp, team want to know you, want to know the team. Fair play. They're happy to see you coming to Kili. If we don't see you, oh, we go crazy. On the trail, the grass grows bigger and bigger. No one is going there. But you come here, we can see the trail up to the top. So the boys will come in the front and tell the name. There are many. They look similar, all of us. And you do the same, you look similar. But we have days, we know each other, we can recognize you. First time we had.
One by one, each member of the crew comes forward to introduce themselves and tell us what they do on the tour.
Thank you. Asante.
Jambo.
Jambo.
My name is Marty.
Marty.
Maximum!
Respect!
Call me Michael.
Michael.
Michael is the ambulance. He carries all the medical supplies to the very top of the mountain.
Naitwa Oscar. I'm a nickname naitwa Stick Finger. Karibu sana. We are so happy to see you guys.
I didn't know it at the time, but Pascal would be quite important to me. After I'd given all my energy to reach the summit and I had nothing left in reserve, he carried my rucksack back down from the summit for me.
Jambo bwana, habari gani? Nzuri sana. Wageni wakaribisha Kilimanjaro. Hakuna matata. Pole pole. Hakuna matata.
After a short musical interlude, it's time for us to introduce ourselves to them.
Guys, the boys want to
Who are you?
hear your voice. So we start with
Go on, Joe. Go
we know you, but we see you there.
Mini kiongozi wa DA. Jina langu Joe.
Dumbo. Gina Langu Cat.
Charlotte.
Gina Lango Hannah.
Jambo. Gina Langu Emma. And thank you for your fabulous welcome.
Gina Langu Giles.
Jambo. Gina Langu Nicola.
Mimini Doctare Twadie Gina Langu Paul.
Gina Langu Sarah.
After all the introductions were completed, there was yet more singing and dancing.
Yes, well, you know, I don't recommend you try that. It's done by professionals under professional circumstances.
And without alcohol, which is very...
This was our first night camping on the mountain, and I was in awe of the incredible sight above. The stars are so bright, and you can even see the cloud of the Milky Way with your naked eye. Whilst I wouldn't say that we were living in luxury, we are woken in the morning by the porters offering us a choice of tea, coffee, and even hot chocolate. We are given a hearty breakfast, and this sets us up nicely for day 2 of our climb.
It's very slippy today, but
How are
it's
you,
a
Kat?
beautiful morning, and the views are spectacular.
This is the day when we start getting to know each other a little more, and we keep each other entertained with all sorts of banter, including how hot Stevie Nicks from Fleetwood Mac was back in the day.
The sexiest rock chick ever to have.
So, end of day 2. Quite tricky today, actually. We went for about 5 or 6 hours, and it was really, really vertical. We were just going on and on and on. Found myself really tired today. Felt a bit strange because it was a year to the day since Josh got diagnosed with his cancer, and I was just thinking about that a lot and everything our family's been through for the past year. And to be honest with you, I got so tired at times just thinking about Josh and how lucky we are that everything turned out okay for us. It just really got me through it. Here's the camp, probably can't see much. No, you're not going to see much there. I've got Kilimanjaro Peak behind me, I don't know whether that can be made out. Food has been fantastic, the crew are amazing, the food that they knock up for us is just incredible. Given what meagre means they have, we've had some stunning soup and fresh fruit, pasta. We just had some rice and chicken and some pea and bean sauce. It was absolutely lovely. And everyone's still in good spirits. We've all been really knackered. Well, speaking for myself, I'm really knackered. Didn't sleep at all last night. I mean, I don't think I slept a single wink, but as some other people didn't. But everyone's bearing up, everybody's really friendly still. I don't know how long that's going to last. It's going to start really grueling here on in, but yeah, let's see what happens. All going good so far, starting to get cold now.
The trick to climbing at altitude is to walk at a snail's pace, and sometimes you forget about it and you just go into your natural rhythm until you hear the cries of "Pole, pole," which is the guide's way of saying slowly, slowly. Every so often we stop to take a break and drink an inordinate amount of water and yet another cereal bar, of which I hope that I never ever clap eyes on again.
Paracetamol? Yes. May I grab some? Yeah.
It now seems that every 100 or so metres that we go, it gets slightly colder and slightly colder. And we're putting more and more layers of clothing on. And even when we're out of the clouds and back into the sunlight, it's still quite cold. Camp 2, and the scenery is quite dramatic. Once again, I hear the chanting of the guides, and off we go again, dancing.
We may just have the best crew.
There are many other groups from all around the world attempting to climb the mountain at the same time as us. But our crew are definitely the most vocal, and we're starting to become very fond of them.
Camp early in the morning. Absolutely freezing cold.
I had to get someone else to do it.
That's not the actual peak.
This is day 3 of the climb, and looking back, apart from the summit night, which was just out of this world, I think day 3 was my favourite. We had lots of obstacles to overcome, but it was really exciting.
I'm just going to go down here for a wee. Okay.
I didn't manage to do a video diary yesterday because it was a grueling day. We had a total of 10 hours walking, and man, it was hard work, it really was. And we got into the camp quite late, had something to eat, and then basically just went in our tents, and that was that for the day. Yesterday was incredible. We went quite high. In fact, we went to I think it was about 4,900 meters, which is a serious altitude. And you really notice the altitude. And even now, coughing is one of the things you get. You get very dry throat at altitude. You might see that my breathing is a little bit difficult. We're about 3,900 now. A little bit lower than we got yesterday, because we're actually sort of coming round the mountain, and we go up and we go down. So we're experiencing all sorts of terrain, you know. We've gone from rainforest to scrub, and rock climbing today has just been incredible. I think if anybody was ever thinking about doing Kilimanjaro, I would say today alone it's worth coming along just for today. It's just been absolutely incredible. It has been what you would call a half day. We set off about 7 o'clock in the morning. I think total travel time about 5 hours. But the start of the day involves some pretty serious rock climbing. It has to be said, it was absolutely amazing. I've never done anything like that before. And so we got reasonably high there, and then you go back down again, and you go around the mountain a bit more, and you go up again, and you go down again. Actually, coming down can be as hard as going up sometimes. So anyway, this is camp for tonight. It's on quite a serious incline. So yeah, we'll probably find ourselves waking up at the far end of our sleeping bags, I think, tomorrow morning. I've got the mountain behind us, and the plan for tomorrow is that we're going to do another half day, so about another 5 hours, something like that. We're going to have something to eat, and then just have a few hours sleep, and at about 11 o'clock at night, that's when we're going to head for the summit. So yeah, it's hard work though, don't let anyone tell you otherwise. It's really tough going. You walk a hell of a long way, and at altitude things are so much more difficult. The name of the game is to go very, very slowly. Drinking lots of water helps at altitude as well, to keep headaches away, because everybody gets headaches at altitude. And as I'm talking to you, it's really nice. The clouds are just coming away from the mountain. Still can't see the peak of it yet. But when things get tough, I really do think about all the kids that we met at Great Ormond Street. Of course, foremost in my mind is G.O.S.H. I'm doing this for him. But I also think about all the other lovely kids that we met there, like Oscar and Kajang and Aaron and Jack. And I especially think about the kids that didn't make it, like Danny, Malachi and Roseanne. And I'm carrying them all up this mountain with me. This is why we're doing it. So till tomorrow, see you then. Just to give a sense of how high up we are. Over in the distance there, hopefully you'll be able to see Mount Meru. Where is it? Such a sunny day, I can't hardly focus in on it. Now that is not actually as high as Kilimanjaro. Pretty tough climb though, apparently. And way in the distance there's a town down at the bottom. Apparently we're about the height where if you were to do a free fall parachute jump, this is about how high you do it. Pretty barren landscape. You can tell we're on a volcano. Porter's toilet. So, woke up this morning. Not too shabby a sight to wake up to. Absolutely beautiful. You can see the town of Moshi down below. Don't know if the video picked that up. The equivalent of about 15,000 feet up in the air at the moment. The mountain you see behind, that's probably not the peak. I think if you get up there, there's still a long way to go, but it's beautiful nonetheless. I really hope that all of us make it to the top. We've got a lovely guy in the group called Giles who's feeling really ill. He's just got like a really bad cold or something, and you know what it's like when you got a cold, shivering at the best of times, but when it's minus 10 at night, God only knows how he feels. It must be absolutely terrible. There's been times where he's not been able to, or he's felt like he can't carry on, and somehow he has. Tough chap, and I really hope that he can make it. Just a quick video diary today because it's so cold and so high. Have a look around, nothing but mist. So we've just had our final meal. It's about 5:30 in the afternoon. We're going to get up. We're going to have another meal at 11:30, and we'll be hitting the road up to the summit at about midnight. It's going to be a really, really grueling trek. Another sort of 8 to 10 hours kind of thing. It's so difficult to breathe up here now. We're now at 4,500 metres, and everyone's feeling it a bit. First time it's hit me, I got a bit of a headache. I'm going to dose up on Nurofen. We just had the summit show up behind me, but just as quickly as it came, it's gone again. Still looks like a hell of a long way to go. And the weather report says that we will be travelling in snow. But this will be the last bit of the video diary till I've hopefully been to the summit. So till then, see ya.
Even after the excitement of reaching the summit, the mountain still had some dramas left for us.
Lots of monkeys in the trees.
The monkeys above us in the trees suddenly started making an unholy racket. The guides thought it likely that they'd spotted a snake and they were letting each other know of the danger.
A whacking great chunk of tree just fell on the floor.
Whilst walking with my fellow climber Charlotte, a huge piece of tree fell from above us, and there's no doubt about it, if it had hit one of us, that would have been curtains.
So I didn't get to do a video diary yesterday. Yesterday was summit day. We set off at midnight, Valentine's Day, and wow, the hardest thing I've ever had to do in my life, honestly. It was grueling. Managed to get to the first point, Stellar Point, and I let go of the inside of my stomach. The group leader Jo said she'd allow me one more, and if I did any more after that she was sending me straight back down, no matter how near I was to the actual peak, which was only another sort of 45 minutes to an hour away. Pleased to say I did it, but of course coming back down again, my God, it was about 6 hours up, 6.5 hours maybe, and coming down I'd given all my energy getting up there, and all that kept me going This time I just thought about my family at home. They really kept me going, seeing images of my family. When I got to Uhuru Point, at the very peak of the mountain, I'm not ashamed to say there was tears rolling down my eyes behind those sunglasses, just thinking about everything that our family have been through this past year. And anyway, we're now on our way back in the middle of the rainforest, and it's absolutely beautiful.